Tuesday.
countdown with
Gentlemen,
the 5,
we're locking in.
4,
Sonic on
3,
a Tuesday.
2. All right. So what were you saying about you were gonna beat us in Sparking
this
Zero? You said
guy.
give us 2. You said give us 2
guy.
weeks.
This fucking guy.
Immediately start storming me.
Not because
Hey,
he thought we were going to let that shit slide. Off mic, acting like he was
You're
going to
not
smoke
getting
us
let
in
off.
Sparking Zero.
All right, so we're streaming this.
Does he not know who we're talking to?
Calling me out on the pod.
What are we gonna stream our? We might have
Y'all
to.
gonna have
we
to
might
run the ones.
We might have to because I can't believe that you think.
Because it was disrespect to Samad. I was a bystander.
I really kept quiet until I had a quiet opportunity to tell someone to his face. All right, give me 2 weeks, and your ass is grass and Sparking Zero.
2 weeks, he says.
Here I come! Take this! Cannon! Cannon! You ready? I'm ending this right now! Final cannon! I have no limits!
You waited
2
for the
weeks, he
right
says.
time to tell me,
Buddy,
he was
we have been
gonna
in the
beat my
time chamber
ass.
since 07. Like,
Literally.
You know what?
Since 05. I've been in time
Sounds
chamber
still
since
look
OG
bad.
Tenkaichi, and you're gonna
Look. You guys were in the time chamber that long just to get
my man.
3 weeks
My man.
later.
I hope you've been in the time chamber because you're gonna need it after the ass whooping, and you're still not gonna catch up. You can spend 10 days in that time chamber and come out on some Black Frieza shit, and you're still not gonna touch me because I'm going to Xeno your ass. Okay.
In other news,
news, let's start the
Living
episode, guys.
life.
I just had to.
running on the edge of tomorrow. We got some Sonic to talk about.
Nah, it's all love.
Gotta go fast.
But yeah. I'm gonna get you on the
Sort
hands.
of,
It's all love.
sort of
But-
like tertiarily attached to Dragon Ball. There are Super Saiyans in Sonic too.
Super.
Yeah.
Super
No,
Sonics.
I'm telling you guys, like, I don't think I'm even
We got a Super
exaggerating.
Shadow. We got a Super Silver. We got a
think-
Super Amy. We
We don't have
Super
Silver in the
everybody.
movies yet, but
Not in the
we'll-
movies. Not in the movie.
Silver was in the movie? Hold on.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you definitely.
Let me
did
just
do
say,
shit. Now they already
off
got
rip,
Silver in this.
off
Sonic.
rip before we get too deep. Welcome to Be Determined.
Mhm.
I am your host, Nick Swisher, Shaq with a $, J-Fo, Samad Terrell.
What's up?
We've been here for a little bit. We're going to speed through it because we're going to get right into it.
Yeah.
We're talking Sonic the Hedgehog today, the live-action movie trilogy. This is going to be the first real movie review we've done on this show, other than like our Marvel DC breakdown, but that was a little more comprehensive.
Yeah, a little different.
When it comes to these movies, I'm just going to get right into it, okay? When it comes to the first Sonic movie, when the original trailer came out.
Oh,
J-Fo,
God.
you know.
Oh God.
Derpy Sonic.
Derpy Sonic, okay?
Bro, that was not Sonic, bro. That
I-
was
when
was
that
like
came out, I
a
was
very
absolutely
failed attempt
adamant.
of like a classic. And
I was
it
like-
wouldn't even give
exactly.
him up to classic.
I was like, this is going to be the worst movie ever made. Like, that's literally what I thought. And then they went in, they fixed it, they changed it, they
It was so
listened to the
atrocious.
criticism, they spent millions of dollars to fix that mistake.
And
And
the
it's
thing
paid
is-
off in like dozens of times over. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
That right there was the first sign of like, oh, they care. You know? Quite frankly, that is a studio.
Which is really rare for
that cares.
adaptations and even more rare for video game
Video game
adaptations.
adaptation
You know what I
especially.
mean? Most times video game source material gets treated like shit. And it's so funny that out of everything, Sonic the Hedgehog is what got like the respect. Like the screenwriters were like, we got to represent this correctly.
They would do the same to Mario.
Let me throw this out there though. When it comes to
What would
that
you do
fake
with
design,
Mario? Like, are they gonna make Peach look like a hoe or not?
they've already made Mario.
You ever seen the Mario movie yet?
You haven't seen the Mario movie?
No,
Second one's coming out on April
You-
26th.
There's a second one coming out.
Yeah,
on
we found the one guy on the fucking
2 months.
planet who
April
didn't see the Mario
2026, my
movie.
bad.
Oh, 26, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, though,
Well, no, I guess.
let me throw this out there in relation to the ugly Sonic.
Yeah.
I have a theory. What if that entire thing was just fake? What if the design we have now was always the design, and the ugly Sonic was a marketing tactic?
Look, if that was the case, I don't care what anyone says. I'm a fan of like seeing very successful ways to like market something, even if it like looked like it was a failure. If that was like part of your PR plan to get everyone talking and hyped up for something,
I think it may have been, because that
respect
seems
the hell
more
out of that.
likely to me than we're gonna go in and redo the entire movie. Because imagine for a second, imagine that ugly design. Imagine that ugly design applied to everybody. Imagine Shadow looking like that.
Oh,
Imagine
God.
Knuckles looking
Knuckles.
like fucking Ugandan Knuckles. Imagine Tails. Like,
Yeah, and
how would that work? How would it work when you get to
at least
Amy
we
and
don't have
characters
to
like
worry-
that?
We don't have to worry about more of like Sonic's friends and stuff, because we don't see Tails until like the end of the movie, or no?
We don't see Tails
until
until
the
2.
Yeah,
It's
so
only
the
Sonic in
first
that
movie
first movie.
only focuses on Sonic and Eggman and kind of establishing a bit of like their origin together of like their rivalry and shit. You know what I mean? That's really what that sets up. So it's like for the first movie, we wouldn't have had to worry about that. But true though, if they would have kept that design, would they have even made a second, third movie? Because like it wouldn't have done anywhere near.
I don't think you go into the production though assuming failure. Like if you're the person who designed Ugly Sonic and you were serious,
I'm
you
going
must
to
have
assume.
assumed that was
I'm
gonna
going
be
to
fine.
assume that at least the first two movies were conceptualized, probably had a good script or
They came out
storyboard.
pretty fast,
Exactly.
like back to back. I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
within 2 years of each other.
Within 2 years,
Which definitely stands to reason that it was at least conceptualized, and some sort of storyboard was probably already made. Then they had to go through the rest of production, filming, post production.
I think it got delayed. They delayed the first Sonic because one, the change, and then two, COVID, I believe. It was
Okay.
a 2020
both of those.
movie.
Yeah, both
You
of
see,
those
yeah,
will
COVID
line up.
fucks up my
No,
timeline
honestly,
on a
they've
lot of
done
releases.
a really good job. Each year has 2 years in between it. We got 2020,
They got that shit on the assembly line. You just get Jim
2024.
Carrey in there and then figure it out from there.
But
So,
there
yeah.
are movies that it's a trilogy that consistently gets better as it goes.
Which is also very impressive. They're
Very
doing
rare.
this in 2 years. I guess we don't know exactly how long the first movie took. You know,
Yeah,
Mhm.
they had been working
in all
on it.
technicality, we don't know how long the second and third movies took, because they could have been working on them during the previous movie's production in some way. Because, like I said, they had to have already been conceptualized. They knew the story that they were working with going in.
I think-
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Shaq.
I was saying I think Jim Carrey's a lot to do with why they move so quickly on things too, to fix it and make sure it came out okay.
Jim Carrey is quite the perfectionist,
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
he got to a point where he didn't even want to be in certain, like, if a movie wasn't like
Before
good
Sonic,
enough,
we thought
he was basically
retiring
retired.
for good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was
So,
gonna retire
he's
after
also
two.
the only, up until Keanu joined, he's also really the only big name marquee leading man that this series had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
And-
James Marsden ain't a number one.
Also, I know we're still basically like on the first movie, but I want to say Jim Carrey, his performance in each movie got better. I don't know. I
It did,
you
yeah.
would think
it did.
that it would be like probably peak in the second, but no. I have to do a slight spoil and talk about the third one in just this Jim
Oh, yeah.
Carrey aspect, but him playing two versions of
Ugh.
himself in the older Robotniks,
It's
you
what he
get to a
wanted.
point in this movie
It's awesome.
where you forget that both of these motherfuckers are Jim Carrey. He
You
has
all-
to rip his own heart out of his chest.
Real quick,
He rips
Real
his
quick.
heart out and has to react to him ripping his own heart out.
real quick, before we jump ahead
Like-
too much, because I want to take these one by
I
one.
only wanted
I
to
wanna-
touch the Jim
I
Carrey
want to take
aspect.
these one by
It is
one,
just
but
amazing when you watch him in the third movie.
yeah, I think it's
Like-
I think that actually is a good transition for slinking back around to let's just get into how we feel about the first movie itself, and then we can go along that way. J Fo, I want to start with you actually. Give me your reactions back when you first saw this movie and the way you feel about it now.
So when I
Sonic
first
the
saw
Hedgehog
it-
1.
When I first saw the trailer, obviously I was with everyone like, this looks like dog shit. You know, except James Marsden. Like, didn't look like the worst thing ever. Just the design, like everything else. Like, I was fine with Jim Carrey's Robotnik, and then, you know, obviously we were all forgiving when they fixed it and actually made it look like Sonic. Yeah, I think the first one is a miracle of a film. The highway scene is my favorite, and the bar scene's fun too. But the highway scene is a really well constructed scene that I think they took their time with, and obviously later re-edited all the bad Sonic
You are
looks
referring
and
to like the chase when
the furry and the first
So
one,
when,
Robotnik, and there's like
Disc
another
and shit,
thing.
Sonic
Yeah.
kind of has to skate with them and shit and get them back to
Yeah, and it just really just has a big throwback to like they do a good job adapting the game, like the first couple games and like referencing that.
The first game is basically just the first Sonic the Hedgehog for
Yeah.
the Genesis because it's just I gotta stop Eggman. He's in like a plane.
Mhm.
He's in like a plane.
Yeah,
It's
right.
really minimalistic. That's
Yeah.
something I admire about the first movie is it has a lot of restraint, and then they drip feed the other elements as like the series goes on.
Mhm.
But
yeah, the first one, like it's a solid, I give it like a solid 7. Like it's a safe first attempt at a possible trilogy, and
I think
they
that
make
is the
Sonic
key word
likable. They make the humans likable. They
that's
you
something
set up
I'm
this-
glad you brought up because I really want to get into that. The
What, it's
thing,
safe.
what he just said about the human characters.
They actually
Because
make them.
when I
interesting.
first saw this trailer, other than the ugly Sonic design, the thing that made me not see this movie for years, I never saw any of these movies until like 2 weeks ago.
Same.
Say
Yeah.
honestly, like over the years, like
The
I've,
reason I didn't was because I saw fucking James Marsden in a Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and I was like, "What the fuck does James
Yeah.
Marsden got to do with Sonic the Hedgehog?" I was mad about it.
and he turns
I
out
was
to
literally
be
like, "What the fuck is this human dipshit doing?" Fucking dragging Sonic down when Sonic should be running around with tails. I was like, "This ain't right."
No.
and they turn out to be it's like a buddy.
I
cop
love these
comedy.
fucking. I love
Yeah.
Sonic's family. I love the
Yeah.
human characters. I love his wife's sister is one
Oh
of the
my
funniest
God.
fucking characters.
Oh my god! I can't
The
wait till we
wedding
get to, like, the
subplot in
second-
2
Wait till we get
kills
to
me.
the
Wedding in the
second one,
second
bro.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So great.
Nah, but like even adding to that though, like I think they do such a good job. As cheesy as a fucking adventure film could have been, with them going on like a road trip,
Which
you know?
partially is.
It's
somewhat-
basically the
somewhat.
plot.
It's
It's
a partial-
basically
it's
the
more
plot
on
of
the
Hop.
run.
Have you ever seen the movie Hop,
Yeah.
Wait.
where fucking Russell Brand plays the
Oh my
Easter
God.
Bunny?
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Nah, I don't think
It's a
Hop.
movie where James Marsden goes on a road trip with a little CGI bunny.
Oh,
So
he's
it's
good
the
at
same
It's
CGI
the
road
same
trips. Oh,
fucking plot as
Wow.
Hop. It's
that
the
is
s-
funny, but not like as cheesy as a road trip movie could have been. It obviously isn't the only focus because it's also an action adventure. But like, it wasn't. You know, it was
Yeah.
charming. We give Sonic his human roots. You know,
Mhm.
and I know it comes into play like way later, but as Sonic as a whole, like the first movie sets up the reason why he doesn't become like Shadow.
Yeah,
Point blank. You know
the
what I mean?
owls.
We'll get into the Shadow
Which-
and Sonic
yeah,
dynamics more
that's
because
why
I
said
really want to get
Sonic
into that.
as an overall though. That's what this movie does because
Yeah.
everyone knows Sonic the Hedgehog, everyone knows Shadow the Hedgehog, right? And we know that they're like these rival combatants, blase, but they're also very similar.
Well, Sonic
That's what
actually
that
has
first
kind of an
movie does.
interesting arc throughout this trilogy, and I think that it's interesting because movie Sonic is not game Sonic.
No.
No,
Game
he's a-
Sonic
he's a
is
complete
confident in himself, like from the jump. Game
Yeah.
Sonic is like, I'm gonna handle my fucking business.
Yeah, he's
every
more-
time
he doesn't
gets out on
talk
the field.
either
You
in
know
the
what I mean?
original.
Yeah, he also was a silent protagonist at first.
Yeah.
Game Sonic would fuck movie Sonic up in a race, but
Really?
in
Yeah.
a fight,
Easily.
Well, yeah,
in a fight-
Game Sonic at this point is
Comic
mature.
Sonic fucks them
Like,
both up.
right.
Fuck.
we had to think about this too. The Sonic that we know currently in the games has grown up this entire time. He's actually mature. That's why his voice
At the end of
nowadays sounds
Sonic
like
3,
a
he's kind of Game Sonic now. He's
almost.
kind of earned
He's
it.
like the young Game Sonic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now he's got his established crew,
I haven't
everything
seen
like
Sonic
that.
3 yet.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
so
But I'm
Sonic-
gonna do
Right.
spoilers. I'm gonna watch
I feel
Well,
movie Sonic
see,
reminds
we're
me of
trying to-
cartoon Sonic, the cheesy like don't do drugs.
I
kid
guess
Sonic.
I guess we
Sonic.
should
That's
start.
what it
I
reminds
guess
me
we
of.
should start saying this. Yeah, but there's spoilers in this whole
Oh
thing.
yeah, this is
I
all,
mean,
like,
yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
label it as
trilogy.
such, but like just in case you can't
But-
read,
Especially
like,
with
in
the
case-
recent
just-
third movie being a
Yeah,
success.
I would say that there is like a slight difference. Like we're seeing basically a Sonic almost right before a game Sonic in a way. You know what I mean? And kind of growing into our game Sonic. It's the way that I take it and see it almost on like a very similar parallel kind of timeline. in a way.
Yeah,
So
You know what I mean?
Number 4 should be interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
we'll
yeah,
we'll,
for
we'll
sure.
talk
Four's
about that a
good.
little bit after we cover
After
3.
we
But
hit 3.
I feel like we
Um,
can kind of move on. The
Well,
last
before
the last
we
little
move
bit
on
we
to
need
the
to hear.
origin-
origin,
Before we
owl.
move
Wait, what'd you say?
first one's basically origin, like
Yeah,
finding
'cause I
himself
did at
in
least
the
wanna
new
touch on that
world.
stuff, too.
Get into
Because
the
he was
plot a
born in
little
another
bit.
planet and goes through, the rings go through different worlds, and Sonic makes a name for himself, like a sort of a hero, in the second, and then so it's a simple
because he goes
like
supersonic
introduction.
at the end of the first movie, don't he?
The second one.
That's the second
Here's my
one.
thing. Here's my thing.
Oh wait, yeah, because his fight with Robotnik in the first
First
one,
one, he
I watched
kinda
them all so close
dies.
to each other.
Yeah.
You're right.
Another
And then
interesting thing to
once,
cover.
he has to. I think that was
It's
actually a
like
really
the-
cool scene. That scene
When
where
it comes to
Sonic
like
died,
his
because
backstory that you were talking about with the owl
wait,
and
wait,
everything.
When Sonic died, wait, what part did you want to get back into? His backstory bit.
His origin, because when it
Okay.
comes to my familiarity with the games, I had a Sega Genesis as a kid. I played
Right.
the shit out of Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog.
Sonic Heroes was actually the first
exactly.
Sonic game.
But
I
that's
Sonic-
kind of like
Sonic
that's
2
low
for
key
me.
kind of late into the story because it's post Sonic
yeah.
Adventure 2 and everything.
yeah.
So I'm not
Well,
as
Shadow's
familiar with
questioning if
like
he's a
his
clone or not.
origins.
Like, it's
Is the owl mom and him being from another planet and all that, is that accurate or is that made up?
I don't exactly know. I think
Okay.
it's maybe comic. I don't know. I think it's something they
Like,
added.
echidnas, like,
I'm
I
not
think
too
the same
sure.
thing with the echidnas being like.
Yeah,
the
I have
actual
no
enemies
I
from
have
the
no
get-go.
idea how
The
they
Echidna's
decided to
history
do this.
is like
The
pretty
Echidna shit is
accurate.
kind of accurate. I know
Right.
that Knuckles is the guardian of the Chaos Emerald
Yeah.
and everything.
Well, the not the
Chaos.
chaos,
The
the
Master
Master
Emerald.
Emerald.
Yeah,
He
but-
doesn't
the
necessarily
Master
care about
Emerald,
the
don't jump down our
individual.
fucking
It's all
throats.
Infinity
But then-
Stone kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he cares about the Master one as like their race and everything definitely did it in both, I guess, like canons,
Yeah.
But before I forget the part where Sonic kind of dies, I love that part for the reason that like also kind of in a Dragon Ball Z-esque thing, you see that Sonic's power, as confident in himself as he is, he can't always do it, but when he needs to push past his limit, not when he wants to just magically be stronger, when he needs to be stronger. When he realized he had actual friends right there that were like ready, you know what I mean?
He has
There
to
was
have
that
like
moment
he has
of
to have like that
all
fucking
there.
Mr. Piccolo. Like he has to have
His
that
friendship
moment.
thing
Like
is,
he
like,
has
real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like a moment of feeling, even though he like momentarily wasn't there.
Tom!
It was all that feeling that gave him the power that he needed. I love the fuck out of that. The fact that the extra power he needed came out of a need and not a want. Just like Goku told to Gohan, that response comes to a need, not a want.
Well, here's
I love that.
Here's one other thing when it comes to Sonic's power. I feel like in the first movie, they kind of do a little too much with him. Like there's that scene where all of the missiles are about to hit him, and
Oh my
he's just
God.
like he's just
Bruh.
like moving like it's.
He's pulling the Quicksilver. half of
He's doing the
bar
Quicksilver,
scene.
like literally,
They
exactly.
literally copy Quicksilver
But
stuff.
my thing with that
I
is
think
just
it
like
shows how
when it
fast
shows
he
how
is. Oh, yeah,
fast he is
absolutely.
in that first movie, though, it creates a problem once you get to the second movie and Tails and Knuckles are just able to run side by side with him. This is a problem I,
mean,
have in the
the thing
games
is,
too. This is a problem I have in the
canonically,
games too.
fast and
If he's the
canonically-
fastest fucking thing alive, why is every single other character able to keep up with him?
I gotta
That's
be
so
honest,
weird to
but the
me.
thing
Tails?
is,
It's so-
canonically, Knuckles can keep up with Sonic.
Yeah, I've played the
Quite
second
frankly,
one.
I'm
he
fine
can't
with it
keep
being.
up
I'm
with
fine with it
And
with
Tails
like
is
Knuckles
also
because
very
he's an
fast.
Tails can
echidna.
fly.
I'm fine with
Right.
it with
Tails can
Shadow
fucking
because
fly.
he's
The
an
flying- Tails is
android.
fucking fast. Tails can't
Isn't
keep up with them
Knuckles-
running
Sometimes
on
they used
foot
Tails
at all.
more back in the
But
day.
flying,
Well, what's Amy Rose's fucking excuse? Well, what's
Mm-hmm.
in the games? Amy keeps up with him just fine too. What's
Right,
her
that's
fucking
later on,
excuse?
but
I mean, but she
general-
is also like just very strong. She can also like knock. She can knock down Knuckles, like
well,
with
Also-
no effort.
we'll get into something. But anyway,
Yeah, they are cartoons, but when it comes to like a power scaling kind of thing, like we have to understand that Sonic and his friends are actually just very powerful.
Yeah, very.
Quite frankly,
Yeah.
like
it's also
They don't
confusing.
have to be
It's
on
also
planet Earth.
confusing in this movie continuity because it's like, are they all from Sonic's same planet?
I think so.
I got confused about that with
God.
Shadow. Did they make Shadow? Did they discover? Is Shadow from his? He's from a meteorite. They found him in a meteorite.
Yeah.
But is
Right.
that from Sonic's planet or is that from a different planet?
that
Yeah,
is
the
Why are
hedgehog-
hedgehogs from
because
space?
in
Why are
some
hedgehogs?
it's almost also understood that Shadow was created based off of the image of a foretelling of Supersonic, which is why his hair already stands up like Supersonic's does.
Well, I thought
while
that
he's
was
in his
the-
base.
I thought that was in
Okay.
the
His
lore.
design,
I thought that's in the lore.
that is basically the lore,
In
but then the
movie- in
movies
movie,
kind of
he
confuse you
crash
with that.
landed and He's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And they were
Exactly.
doing studies on him.
Exactly. He was there before Sonic ever existed.
We're jumping
but
ahead again. We got to circle back and get.
we
the shadow
are.
later.
We really are.
We got to get the
But,
shadow
like,
later.
but
We got to get
you
the
know what
shadow.
I mean?
In
That
this
stuff that's
trilogy, though,
confusing.
It's hard to talk about like one movie without talking about what happens in this movie. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
And-
In a
or
way,
tie it back
yeah.
Like this, like
The
so that's
trilogy
all
in
we
itself
But I
is
feel
like
like
a big origin
to
story.
surmise, we can really quick surmise general feelings on one, because I feel like when it comes to one, the biggest things that you got to point out are this movie shouldn't have worked and it did.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey as Eggman was a fucking revelation. Whoever
Yes.
came up with that is a genius.
Honestly.
Um,
And for me, I want to
and
say
movie Sonic and this universe in general, it's an interesting thing because me and you have gone back and forth about the live action adaptation thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when it comes to this is a great example of what I always say, which is this is not a one-to-one recreation of the games. This is very much its own thing, telling its own story,
Yeah.
using the framework of the story that already existed.
Yeah.
It has its own reasons for existing. It's trying to communicate its own themes. It's making Sonic into a new, more complex character.
yeah, hitting
You
with
know what they
mature
kinda
topics
took-
and
I-
stuff
I
like
wanted
in a
to
good
say
way for
they
kids
kinda-
as well.
Do you think they kind of took like Marquis from the Marvel MCU? Because instead of like the MCU is also not, they don't tell, it's a live action not a live action adaptation of what happened in the comics, but a retelling of their stories. So you know what Captain
Right.
America could do, but this is his new story type shit. You think you like stuff like that?
It's-
Like
well,
so Sonic.
Well-
Sonic kind of has that quality anyway, because when you talk about him, he comes from the games, but he's also got his comics, and he's also got Sonic X,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's
He has
got
so
a
much
lot.
lore.
He's got several different forms of media. Also,
Lore is a-
Sonic
the lore of
06
Sonic
resets
is a
his
rabbit
time.
hole.
Also,
Yeah.
Sonic 06 resets his fucking timeline, so everything beyond that is like a different continuity.
It also
Yeah,
gets to the
Everything.
point where it glitches
Mega Man's-
out.
Oh my gosh. We need a story about video game characters too. Mega
Yeah,
Man
yeah,
is a
yeah.
different lore.
We should have a separate episode for how glitchy then terrible that Sonic 06 game is.
I don't know
for
if
the
y'all
Xbox.
have ever
played it,
played
but
it, but that
I
fucking
heard it
game
was
is
really-
crazy
Oh man,
bad.
talk about
Really plagued.
Anyway, though. So yeah, that's my general feelings on Sonic 1. Is I feel like J-Fo said, at the end of the day, it's like a solid 7 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie
I
by any stretch.
want to personally push it to 8
Yeah,
for
I'll
the
give it a
fact
solid
that
I think
like
it's worth an
for
8.
me,
I'd probably fall
not
in the
like
middle, like
super
7.5.
growing up with Sonic. I love it for the fact that like it has hardcore got me back into Sonic. Like I can't tell you. Like you see me on PlayStation
Absolutely.
Network just
Absolutely.
playing Sonic Frontiers. a
I
lot.
want to
Like,
get
on
Sonic
my
Shadow
Switch, I'm sitting here
Generations just
playing,
because I've seen the movies
what is it?
now.
Rivals, I think I'm playing
Yeah.
on my Switch. Like it's hardcore low key got me back into Sonic, and I love the fact that we were covering this. That make me watch these movies. Be like, damn, bro, I forgot how much I actually fucked with Sonic. Like
We gonna make you watch some
Man.
damn movies now. Like you ain't gonna have these
Man.
excuses anymore, brother.
man.
Yeah, Sonic 3 got me.
Wait,
Real
wait,
excited.
So we go to 2 or
We're gonna
Well,
have
yeah.
to jump
We're talking
to
about
2.
3 because, well, no, we're
Yeah,
talking
go
about
ahead.
2, but 3 like was the reason this podcast happened because it turned out
Absolutely.
to not only be
Yeah.
just another Sonic movie, it's legitimately maybe one of the best like video game adaptations that has come out in the last 20 years. But anyway,
Other than
but-
maybe
my God.
Dune
Yeah,
2,
dude,
I
yes,
think
when
that
did
it
we
was my
get to
favorite.
3?
Other than
Because honestly-
2 is when
other
we
than like
do-
Dune,
honest.
I want to say other than like Dune Part 2, Sonic 3 is probably my favorite movie of 2024.
Yeah.
I don't care if
I
that
mean,
sounds goofy.
yeah,
I
no,
don't care if that sounds.
That's
It's really good.
there was,
It's really fucking good.
It's really good.
so yes.
Yeah, no,
Box
definitely.
office was shit this year.
Oh man.
What else
it
it competing
no,
with? Deadpool
all right,
and Wolverine?
so-
Like,
Sonic 2 got more
Sonic
action.
2 though. Yes,
We got Tails and Knuckles, Idris Elba, and then the original voice of Tails is actually voicing in this movie. It's interesting.
which,
That's-
hey,
that's
shouts
lit.
out. Of all the characters they could have had their voice actors come in, I think it's interesting that they were like, Tails is your
yeah, let's bring
replacement.
that one
I
back.
think they were like, we can get a different Sonic, we can get a different Shadow, but Tails.
Tails
Tails
is Tails,
are-
and I
Tails'
love it.
voice is iconic.
Now-
Like remember in the games, like him just popping up and like to tell you like a
Yeah.
how you doing, Sonic?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
First off, don't ever do that voice again. First off, don't.
But
Good lord.
We got,
Good
we got
lord.
more action in this one, guys. We also have like a silly wedding plot device, but
Oh my god. Okay, you know what? Before we
The
talk about
wedding,
anything,
bro.
before we talk about
The
anything,
wedding.
fuck
We need
everything
to
else.
go
We're talking
back.
about the wedding.
The wedding.
Fuck
Yes.
everything.
Oh my god. All right. So I don't even remember her name, but we're going
I
best friend's wife's sister. All right.
Yeah,
Y'all
James
know who
Marsden.
I'm
Tom's
talking
wife's
about.
sister.
yeah,
Tom's
sister-in-law.
Tom is the only one I know.
Yeah, Tom's
Tom-
sister.
What's her
sister-in-law
name? Fucking
Was wild, bro. She was just wild. Like, you thought she was a kick in the first movie and not liking Tom and shit and passing out and getting tied up, bro. No. When you see her in the second movie and she finds out
We
that
didn't even
this whole
mention her
thing
for the
with
first
her
movie,
husband
like-
was like a setup, bro.
We got
Oh, nah.
we got
nah.
we got
You
Shamir Moore and Natasha Rothwell. Shout out to those two.
Yes, bro, because
First off,
Ah.
Shamir Moore
You
is
thought
like
she
putting,
was-
he's like putting it all on the field in this
got the
fucking
dude
movie.
from
Like
Diary of
Shamir
a Mad
Moore
Black
is like so
Woman.
happy to be here. It's like so.
We got Criminal Minds, dude. He's like, I'm just hanging out, man.
you thought she was just a hater in the first movie, and then in the second movie, you love her. You fucking love her, bro. She's like teamed up with them. She's got like Tails' bag with all his gadgets and shit, bro. And she's like, the hedgehog's friend is into some really weird shit. Like, bro, and it's just like that sounds like an innuendo, but it's just a really fucking weird tech shit, you know? Like, and bro, it's so fucking funny. She has this little toy gun and shit, right? And he's like, does that even work? And it's like, I'm about to tase you, right?
It reminds me of
She
like
said,
it reminds
boom,
me of like
blew
something
up
from
the fucking
Spy
cake, and
Kids.
she's like, I guess it worked, huh?
No, it's actually a
Those are the
a
best
trilogy
characters.
which has a
Actually,
lot of good,
characters are
decent
best
comedy in it.
characters.
Like
Yes.
again, it's a good family trilogy that works for like people like our age. We're almost in our 30s, and then our kids like these
Yes.
movies too. Like you took your daughter to this, and
Here's something I think is interesting, okay? You would not have expected it from the Sonic film franchise, but there is like a series of Hall of Fame castings in this series. The first one being Jim Carrey as Eggman.
Yes.
Then there's Tom's wife's sister. Then there's fucking Idris Elba as Knuckles,
Yeah.
which is just
Oh,
like this
yes.
is my favorite
Yes.
version of Knuckles ever by
Oh,
far.
yeah.
Bro.
He grabbed his fucking fist.
He's
and just
funny.
Like-
He's badass.
He was so surprised. Oh.
My thing is like, I'm not a big Knuckles guy. Like he's not my
Right.
favorite Sonic character.
I was a Knuckles guy.
I was a Shadow the Hedgehog guy because I'm genetically predisposed to liking the edgelord and anything.
Yeah,
Like
I
Vegeta,
always cheated.
Hiei, fucking Sasuke.
Well, yeah, I was a Vegeta. You already know.
Yeah, yeah.
He'd be tattooed all right here, right now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
fucking
I got
Knuckles-
a fucking Sharingan right here. You know what I'm about.
Knuckles.
You know what I'm.
You always could climb up the walls with Knuckles and fly. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to just cheat. Instead of just running the course, I just and then run the course.
Fucking.
No, wait. I
Cheesing
said
it.
Rivals is what I was playing on my Switch. I meant Forces, Sonic Forces.
Sonic Forces. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where you
But-
get to create your own Sonic.
I
friend.
think
Yeah,
that
it's
an
fun. It's so
interesting
fun.
development. An interesting development is like in this second movie, you see that they've like sort of gained their confidence a little bit because they're
Well,
leaning a lot more
Tails-
into the game elements because
Tails kinda
not
has
only
to
with the
gain their
presence of
confidence, which is kind of cool.
yeah, not only with the I mean like the team making the movie is feeling
Oh yeah.
like-
Oh yeah. 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 'Cause,
Like, not just
like
with
J-Fo
bringing
said, that
in
first
a-
one was safe, and I think they were
Yeah,
good
yeah.
to do it safe, but they let the reins loose, like
Yeah.
you already said too. They drip fed us.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
the way
Not
they
just
did
with
that was
Knuckles
great.
and Tails being in this movie, but the whole element of Eggman taking the Chaos Emeralds
Mhm.
inside of himself and then building that giant mech and that whole battle at the
Yes.
end with the fucking tornado. That was some
Uh,
real
that
video
is-
game
Bro,
final
something
boss
right
shit,
out of the
wasn't
Literally
it?
was.
That is what you were supposed
With the
to do.
giant fucking
That's a
hurricane.
fucking
Yeah,
video
that's
game
right out of
movie,
the
man.
Sega sequel.
Bro.
Like, it was so cool to see that. Something that I played as a kid that I hadn't seen in like 20, 30 years and seeing that on the big screen, like, you know.
Yeah, that was
It,
cool.
like it wasn't a total reference, but it's like it felt like they had the mountain
It was-
ice cap stage
It was
too.
recreated as
The
hell.
underwater temple, yeah, they had all that stuff
Like-
in there.
Yeah,
I loved the other. I loved the underwater temple
the
because
underwater temple.
that
We
was where
saw
it felt the
Sonic
most
in
like
his
a-
fucking element.
I
going,
compared to this.
yeah.
I compared it
Cool
to
as
this when I was talking to J-Fo
Yeah.
earlier. Okay, there's a scene real early in the Mario movie where it just switches to like a side-scrolling view, and you just see Mario like walking through this thing, trying to get to work. There's a scene like that in the underwater temple where Sonic is like real fast dashing through this area, turns around,
the
dodges
traps
a
and shit.
trap, goes under a waterfall and shit.
Wait,
It's right out of a fucking Sonic
It
level.
Right out
really
of
was.
it.
But speaking of the traps, bro, one of Jim Carrey's like funniest moments in the second movie was when he's like, "All right, so I figured it out. There's a trap every 7 woo," and then like, and it's like the the temple was designed for it to be that 7 seconds. There's a trap
Yeah.
until you figure it out. And then catch you by surprise, bro. That whole moment
I'm
was
dead.
so fucking
Dead.
just lit to me, bro.
Can I tell
the
you-
look on his face as that fucking blade went by, bro? I said, nah, Jim Carrey is the fucking man.
So good.
Can I tell you one other thing that is the funniest joke in these movies running to me?
What's that?
The like literally I was in fucking tears when Eggman's assistant was in a coffee shop making a cappuccino with his face in it and like shedding a tear for his lost love.
Grab the cappies.
He was like, the fuck? He was like uncomfortable as fuck. He was like, give me my coffee, man. Give me my...
That's hilarious.
Nah,
So fucking true.
his unrequited love for Eggman is so tragic and hilarious. Like Tails is like, yeah, because me and Sonic are friends, like you and Eggman, right? He's like, yeah, like me and the doctor.
We're friends.
He's my best friend. He's my best. He's like,
He's
Nah,
like,
man.
I know for a fact I feel this. I don't
nobody
know if
knows
he
that
does.
character's name. I swear to God.
He's,
Oh. He's
He's
agent,
funny as fuck.
fucking. Oh
God,
my
he
Agent
always
god,
plays
Summer.
the agent and
He's also
everything.
in-
What's his
he's
fucking
the
name?
fucking-
It's funnier not knowing his name. I'd rather not know his
let's
name.
not
I'd
know.
rather. It's just Eggman's lackey. That's just.
when
Agent Stone.
Eggman comes back and he starts building his shit, he said,
Doctor,
"Take me with you."
take me with you. And Eggman does. That's what's hilarious. He's like, yes, bring my husband with me. Of course,
Did
my
you
lover.
even bother to read a manual? And then he gets knocked the fuck out. And then later on, he's like, "I read the manual," because he does the mustache clothes thing. He said, "Wait, what was that? How did that?" "I read the manual."
I love the fourth wall breaking Jim Carrey, especially in the third one. He's like, it's like the two people playing the same actor. Like,
Oh, yeah,
little
yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
just
That was
make
a
up
little
some
on the
movies.
nose for
That was
me.
great.
I was
Yeah,
like, man,
it was a little on the nose, but it's fucking Jim Carrey.
It only works because it's Jim
Because
Carrey.
because it's
And also
almost like
'cause
we're the same.
Yeah.
All right, now
Oh.
to warn you, Shaq. I think that it's just about time to start getting into Sonic 3.
Yeah, because I mean, I ain't gonna
But-
lie,
You
we
can't spoil-
we keep
you can't
touching
spoil
on it.
it.
But
It is-
Sonic 2 does
Yeah.
have
I haven't seen it.
Supersonic.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah,
talk
can
Super
hit that
Sonic
Super
real
Oh wait,
quick?
wait, yeah,
And
okay,
Knuckles-
J-Fo,
okay,
go
wait,
ahead.
wait. Yeah, because that ends with almost ends with a pretty interesting scene. You see Knuckles without the Chaos Emeralds recreate the Master Emerald.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting.
He just
Is that something that he could always
It's kind of
do?
it's kind of Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
It's
He
like
really said-
I can just do this. Yeah, it's
Right.
better. Yeah, it's better.
But like that is
No
kinda-
big whoop. No big.
That's kind of crazy because going into the third movie, when Sonic is like pissed off and is wanting to get the Master Emerald, if the Chaos Emeralds were still separated, why not just go get all seven? of
Worth
them?
noting, none of us have watched the Knuckles show.
We've only seen highlights on WatchMojo.com.
I haven't seen a second. I don't know what happened to
It's-
it.
It's nothing.
Didn't
it's a
seem to
comedy series
affect
with-
anything.
Yeah, it's
Didn't
just about Knuckles finding his like humanity, like Sonic. It's basically Sonic 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so like it's
Sonic
just
is gonna
character.
show up.
development.
I might check it out. I
You do
It- it-
get there's a new evil organization that is in the lore also, like who Kid Cudi.
Gun.
Yeah, Gun. Yeah, Gun.
Yeah.
Gun.
Okay, so you
Gun's
see, Gun
already
kind of
kinda
just
been
shows
built
up in
up.
3.
Yeah,
So I was like,
'cause
okay.
The fucking dude is in charge of Gun
Yeah.
that dies in 3.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but like Gun's already kind of in the lore.
Yeah, yeah.
But talking just a little bit more about the ending of 2 and about wrapping up our thoughts on 2.
Mm-hmm.
If 1 is like a 7, like me and JFO said, 2 is solidly like an 8.5.
Yeah.
See,
I guess solid 8 for me.
and I'm gonna give it that 8.5.
That felt like
It
the
bumps,
first-
it bumps up from the first one.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It
And
felt more
yeah.
like a Sonic movie because it's not Sonic without Tails to me at least.
Right,
No,
yeah,
that-
you
I-
need
I
Tails
concur.
Sonic. He needs like that's his partner, bro.
Yeah.
Like Batman and
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah.
Although we're still waiting on that good Batman and Robin movie one of these days. That's another one.
Frankly,
the Jim Carrey.
I'd be cool on not getting Batman and Robin if I could just get Terry McGinnis.
Dude, yes, I want Batman
Charles is
Beyond.
done right.
I really want. Yeah, no, we need a Batman Beyond live action.
So
something,
bad.
something.
We could have gone it with Michael Keaton, but anyway, yeah. So Sonic
think
2.
when Robert Pattinson was first like announced as playing the Batman, I was like, I feel like he would play a really good Terry McGinnis.
Now wait just a cotton picking minute. This ain't got nothing to do with Sonic.
This doesn't. But you know, fucking thoughts.
Right. So
But-
Sonic 2, yeah, it was the movie that I think what they wanted to make in the first one if the first one succeeded.
If they didn't, low-key
This was that
need the first
movie.
one, though.
And they brought in the real Eggman, like Jim Carrey got the
Yeah, with his
full-on-
weight
Shave the
gain,
head.
not the
He's
hair.
bald. He's doesn't have the
Yeah.
Hitler hair.
After
so-
spending his time on the mushroom planet, he becomes
Yeah.
the true Eggman. Yeah, like I said, they definitely needed the first movie to give us a Sonic and Tails adventure in the second one, and then to give us all three of them as a team.
2
in the
has a
third
lot
one.
of
They needed the
payoffs
first
that
one.
I'm sure fans were like, fuck, I can't
And-
believe I'm getting this. Like Super Sonic.
Super Sonic, yeah, that's something that
Super Sonic.
maybe still I think might be the best part of the entire trilogy. I don't know. It's so epic.
Seeing Super Sonic in the second
See,
one.
That was
I'll
Or-
cover my
or you
thoughts
mean,
on that a
like,
little more
towards
when
the
we
end
get
of
to
the third
3.
well the third one too.
Like,
Which
that
well,
shit
which
was.
we'll get to, yeah. Which we
That
will
shit
get
was
to
pretty
now.
epic.
now.
I heard
And I
it's
mean
like
that-
watching Dragon Ball Z.
If we're getting into 3, because I'm just about ready to talk about 3. Okay.
Three
Let me
was
set-
fucking
Yeah.
epic.
Let me set the
At
stage
the
for
end
you.
of
Okay?
2, Shadow comes in.
Let me set the stage
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
We'll
okay?
start with the tease from the end.
First off, full disclosure, I watched this movie on fucking Twitter. Somebody just uploaded the
That's
whole
funny.
movie, and I was just like, well, damn.
That's
Okay.
funny.
I guess I'm watching this now.
Sonic 3?
Yeah, I screencasted it to my TV. I just fucking watched it that way.
That's funny.
Oh, okay.
I just fucking...
I-
But anyway,
I saw it at Dolby.
good for you.
Yeah,
Oh, good for
I-
you. You got to go outside.
Dolby
Hey,
Cinema.
hey, best believe I had the sub and the monitors turned
Yeah.
up though. I made it feel like a
Right.
theater in that bitch.
Hey, man, my TV's nice. It wasn't bad watching it on there. But anyway, this movie opens up, and right away we're getting into the Shadow backstory. Like, right away we're seeing, like, the sad shit going down. And it's low-key a tonal shift for this franchise. Like, my biggest thing going into this movie, because I knew you're introducing Shadow, that means you're doing Sonic Adventure 2. In Sonic Adventure 2, a 9-year-old girl gets capped in the fucking skull by a member of the U.S. military in a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
That game for kids.
That's how
Yeah.
that originally happened.
She gets shot in the head.
In
Yep.
the chest. And then,
In the chest?
She gets shot in the chest, walks up to Shadow, and then gets shot in the head. Right in front of Shadow.
By a member of the U.S. military. That is why Shadow's so
I've
pissed in
only,
the
like,
game.
played, like,
In the
first,
movie,
like,
they
hour or two
changed
of-
this.
of
In the
SA2.
movie, they changed this notably
I
to where
like-
it's an accident. In the
Yeah.
game, they very intentionally kill this child just to try to get to Shadow.
Okay, nah, look.
Just-
If I was Shadow, I'd be saying fuck the world too.
So I was,
Like-
when we go into this movie, I was like,
Blaming
okay,
the
how
accident
much
on
of
him
this
is
are
one
they
thing,
going to
but-
do? And they reeled it back a little bit
Yeah,
by not having it be on purpose,
What is-
I
Right.
guess.
One of the saddest things about Shadow to me as a character is the fact that, like, you knew, well, you find out that he's been going on these adventures with this little girl and it's like her best friend, and he doesn't run away. Like, he goes back into his
Yeah,
chamber
he
at
starts
the end of the
willingly
day.
becoming a test subject because of his relationship with her. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, that's crazy, like, as a character arc to, like, care about somebody that much and then, like, just to watch them get capped in the fucking...
Shout out to the Keanu Reeves, by the way, who chose to voice Shadow.
Shouts out Keanu Reeves, the other Hall of Fame casting in this trilogy.
yes.
Every
It was
movie has one. Every movie.
Do you know who else was considered,
Who?
rumored? Hayden Christensen as
Oh,
Shadow.
fuck. That would have been nice,
Right.
though.
That's what I
Oh
was hearing.
damn! Wait a minute. Okay, don't make me say he would have been better. He might have been. I'm not gonna say he couldn't have been.
You never know. But there was talk, I believe.
Anyway, though,
Man. But yeah, no, like 3.
three has
we meet-
this.
Go ahead.
Okay. 3 has this quality that's different from the other two, where the other two are still attached to this identity of we have to be a Sonic movie, but also a normal family comedy. You know what I'm saying? This movie says, fuck that, we're a Sonic movie. Sonic
Yes.
3 is where they say, fuck all the bullshit, they ain't no Hawaiian vacations this time. There's no road trips with Tom. We're fucking
Tom,
Shadow
yeah.
is here and he's trying to blow up the fucking world.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, so James Marsden and his wife, they're like in the background. If anything,
They
in
do
the
have
movie-
some funny, like they're like the
They're
comedic
there.
They're
They
there.
are there, but much less than in the first
Than
two
in the
movies.
first
They
two,
are
for
not a
sure.
distraction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is good. This is we finally get to see
No, it gives
Knuckles,
us that
Sonic,
good build-up,
Tails, and yeah.
The
they're
fact
all-
that Tom and his wife weren't so in the movie because they were separated from Sonic and gang for like so much of it, and kind of like almost like will they end up returning to each other thing. When Sonic does finally end up seeing Tom again, and the only person standing there is Shadow.
Mhm.
Bruh.
Hey, first of all, let me say something. I feel Sonic because when Shadow did that shit, I was ready to. I was like, "Don't you
I
touch
was
Tom,
ready.
you motherfucker!"
I
I was like, "Don't you touch
Yes.
Tom, you
Bruh,
I was
'cause
like,
I'm just like, you
no!
did not have to do that at all. You did
No,
not.
Tom does not die, but Shadow
Yeah.
punches him hard as fuck in the chest, and it really looks like he's dead for a second.
Yeah, and then Sonic gets
It's a kids'
Sonic
movie, so
gets
I was like,
pissed.
I'm sure they didn't kill James Marsden.
no one dies technically in this.
But
movie.
as far as Sonic's concerned, hey, Tom's on his fucking deathbed because he got punched by a super
Right, there's
soldier.
no way he survived
a super
that,
soldier
literally.
hedgehog. A super.
Actually, then there is one death. Just
There is a.
I
what-
mean,
yeah.
well, I guess technically,
technically
it's like-
Eggman's, both of them maybe the old one maybe.
Eggman's
what actually
grandpa
happens to
dies.
Shadow?
The-
Here,
Shadow
And also-
lives. Yeah,
Shadow lives there.
Look.
Oh, I
Okay,
think
here's
so.
here's
I
how the
watched
plot
it.
breaks down.
But
Yeah,
like,
he
I
did.
didn't see Shadow anymore.
he just goes on. He goes back on his own, right?
Samad. Let
It's
me
I
let
know
me
Shadow
explain.
comes back later from like video game lore. And
Let me
everything, but, like,
explain.
he questions that he's a clone. And
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that in like Heroes. So
Here's
that's
how the
why I'm
games.
like-
Here's how the games progress. Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic CD.
I thought Sonic CD was a bit earlier because that's the order that they have it in the Origins fucking. They've made like
I'm not sure exactly, but
collections
this
at
is
this point,
that's
but,
the
like, they put
general
CD,
area.
like,
That's the
right there
general
before,
area.
too.
But then
Oh,
after
right.
that is Sonic Adventure 1 and 2,
Okay.
then Sonic Heroes.
Which Sonic Adventure 2 is basically Sonic 3.
Yeah, and then Sonic Heroes,
Heroes is right after that, which has
which is where Shadow comes back. So
we're
basically, in the
probably gonna
game
see him
in the
fourth
game
movie, 'cause
continuity,
Amy is in Sonic Heroes.
well, Amy already exists through Sonic CD. I'm pretty sure.
And honestly, they kind of already Easter egged her throughout the first two movies
But
because she
break-
owns one of the houses.
But just
when
to
Tom was
break it
looking
down,
through
basically, the movies,
listings.
movie
Funny as fuck.
movie 1 is based on the first game. Movie 2 is based on Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Movie 3 is based on Sonic Adventure 2. And based on the post-credits scene,
Amy Rose.
4 looks like it is going to be based on Sonic CD, which is the game where Metal Sonic and Amy are involved.
Right.
If we
Okay.
did Metal Sonic, bro.
If-
no.
there's no
there
if.
is-
There's no if, my
The-
friend.
The
The post-credit
for
scene
3
is a straight-up scene from Sonic 4.
So
They've
at
already
the
got
beginning
the scene,
of Sonic
okay?
3, it actually starts out with a race between Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. Okay,
Yeah.
this race is a facade because once Sonic realizes they're not coming, he's like, "Well, what the fuck's up?" They go back. He figures out, "Oh, happy birthday, blase blase!
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
your birthday, the day we found you."
Yeah,
Okay,
I've seen that.
cool. That gets interrupted and everything like that when they try to get to it. At the end of the movie, in the post credits, they're like, "All right, cool. We're gonna settle this and actually do the race." They go. Sonic super overshoots it, and it sets up the scene for when he gets fucking ambushed by Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic pops
who
up
comes
in
to
a
his
flash
rescue?
of light like the fucking Terminator, and
Yes.
immediately tries to shoot Sonic with like an ion cannon.
In the
Sonic,
credit scene.
yeah,
Yes.
Sonic dodges that shit and
Yes. And then
socks him
he's
across the
surrounded.
forest, and then like 15 more of these fuckers
Yes.
show up
And then
just for Amy fucking Rose to show up, smash them all with a hammer, and then for the screen to cut to black before she can say anything.
So I only seen Amy Rose coming in. I've never seen the whole post credit scene.
Yes.
That's insane.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
fucking cool.
Now I gotta go
sets
home
up-
and watch Sonic.
When
Yeah.
when that
Really.
post credit scene came on, how excited both my daughter and my son got to see that was fucking crazy. I said, That's funny.
Luna saw that
They
shit in
said,
theater.
"It's
Luna saw that
Amy!"
shit in theaters. Luna saw that shit in theaters and was jumping up and down. Like she loves Eggman now. She walks around the house saying, "Look at me! Look at how fast I am! I'm supersonic! I'm super."
That's the top 10 post credit scenes of all time. That's like
Yes.
how-
Mhm.
Yes. That shit was
Of
all
really
nice.
cool.
post-credit scenes.
Getting back to the main plot though, one other note: I want to eat at the fucking Chow Garden.
Oh my god,
That
yes.
shit
Can we
looks
talk
ama-
about that?
Yeah.
That
I'm happy
looks
that
so
that's what
fucking
they did.
lit.
So,
there needs to be
where-
some child
what-
gardens
Exactly.
in Japan. There has to
Do
be
they
some in
explain-
Tokyo, right?
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I'm saying. Are
that has
they
to be a
gonna
legit plot
explain
spot.
that like came out of an idea, like because they had Shadow, so they like did research if he did come from somewhere else and they found out about the Chows.
Because in the games, the Chows are like a race of creatures that
they're like,
exist.
so like.
Mhm. Yeah,
But in
yeah,
this, they
exactly.
appear to just be like a
I thought it
marketing
was brilliant.
mascot.
I think that's brilliant because how could you explain it in this world?
Exactly.
But it's so cool because I think in number 4 they should go. If what everybody's talking about is correct, 4 should be off world. Do you think?
I think it might be.
Well, I don't know how. I'm not. I've never played
Probably
Sonic
fair.
CD.
Yeah, me
I'm
neither.
not familiar with how the plot of that story goes.
Yeah,
What I
don't wait to
am
say
pretty
it.
confident in is Sonic 4 is going to have time travel elements because we see Metal Sonic like appear out of nowhere, like a Terminator.
Yeah.
And then that sort of implies that beyond Sonic 4 we'll start building up to Silver the Hedgehog showing up, which would be Sonic 06, which is time travel all over the fucking place, which would
Right,
also
that's his
also
power.
require Shadow to be back because Shadow
Yeah.
is important to the plot of Sonic 06.
So they'll probably make a Shadow movie. at some
So
point.
are we talking about Sonic 06's movie
A pure
being
Sonic or
so,
a pure Shadow.
so it could be a
It could
case.
happen.
It could be a
Keanu
case
Reeves,
where the
yeah.
next
Wow.
couple of movies are 4 is Sonic CD, 5 is Sonic Heroes because you need that to bring Shadow back in,
Right.
and then 6 would be Sonic 06.
Or combine the two and just have Shadow come back in.
Because not a lot actually happens in
Yeah.
terms of like the bigger plot in Sonic Heroes. They just
Right.
fight Metal
They could be
Sonic
like,
again.
well, why the
It's
fuck
kind
did
of
you
just
back up?
Shadow
Have-
kind of questioning,
Sonic
like
and
finding
them
out
already have
things
their
and
established-
questioning.
They find Shadow.
They
That
find him at the
it's
top.
not
But
until
in the-
Shadow the Hedgehog when he fights like fuck. There's Shadow the Hedgehog too. That you could do that in a show.
No, 'cause
You could
I
do that in a
remember
show.
In Heroes, there's a scene where Shadow's team runs up on a half-defeated, like a half-destroyed Shadow robot,
Exactly,
and
No,
that's
no,
what
no,
gets
yeah.
him all just like.
Well, here's my thing. Here's
what
my
the
thing
fuck,
is
you know?
they find him in a fucking rejuvenation chamber like he's Goku on Namek, okay? And Rouge the Bat and Omega the robot let him out. And then they run around together for a little bit and he finds a robot that looks just like him and he's like, wait, am I the real Shadow or am I just an android or am I just a clone of Shadow? What the fuck am I? Then in the next game, Shadow the Hedgehog, some fucking aliens come down that look like ghosts and demons called like the Black Order or some shit
Black-
like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
one of them starts like haunting Shadow basically. Like, I can reveal to you what you truly are. You need only do what I say. And so it becomes like a moral thing where you can play the game either evil and follow what this dude says, or you can follow the good path and try to stop him. And you can unlock 3 different endings. There's a lot of different endings, but basically the 3
but the main
the
three.
3 boil down to I'm the real Shadow, I'm a clone of Shadow, I'm an android of Shadow. The true ending is he's the real Shadow.
Okay.
Long story short, he's the real Shadow. He was
I
just
see.
fucking tripping this whole time. He was just fucking
I mean, I don't blame him.
yeah.
I
It
do
was
not.
just a fucked up existential crisis that went on for 3 games. That went on for
If I knew clones were real, I'll be fucking going crazy myself. Like,
It's the plot of Final Fantasy IX. It's the plot of.
Yeah, see, I've been really thinking about grabbing that Sonic X Shadow Generations game.
Me
really
too.
play
Me too.
through.
It's been staring at me in the PS Store.
At this point, because like I said, like my Sonic love has just been rejuvenated. I'm loving my playthrough of Frontiers. Like it's even on PlayStation, its pop-in is just wild. I don't think even PC got any saving grace from its pop-ins, but like overall, the game looks pretty beautiful. I do have to say,
Mhm.
pop-ins kind of being really harsh sometimes. Like you're not that far from a giant ass monster, and like I have to move 2 feet, and it pops in. I go back some and it's completely disappeared, but it's just like this big ass enemy that's in front that is kind of jarring at some points. It could take you out of it. But like when you don't pay attention to that, it looks very beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like having like an open world or open zones to do Sonic shit in.
Super
It's
fun.
fucking fun,
Super
bro.
Sounds like it.
Like I just gotta say, it's fucking fun. Like I've just, it's really been making me just want to go through and actually like play and deep dive all the games.
Bringing back to the last place we were at in the plot, where they were at the Chow Garden. That's right before Shadow shows up, kills the Olive
That
Garden
fight.
general.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Yeah, they
R.I.P.
you know, in the first 2 movies, there's a general who shows up and gives them a gift card to the Olive
That's
Garden.
right.
Yeah, he
Olive
dies in
Garden.
a
Bro,
violent
he's cheap
explosion
as
in
fuck,
the third
bro.
movie.
I gotta say, he is cheap as hell. That $50.
Fuck him for that. Man. He had it coming.
Character also in the lore, isn't he?
He's like the general of gun. I don't know if he dies in the games,
No
but
idea.
I don't think so.
but anyway though, Shadow shows up and beats the fucking dog shit out of all 3 of our main characters.
Said you
Like,
can't take us at the same time. Oh,
He starts
took
like
us at
using
the same
instant
time.
transmission and just like wiping the floor with it. He
Yeah.
throws Sonic like 80 feet in the air and then like Sparking
ass
Zero
up there.
pile drives him back down
Yes,
to the
dude.
fucking ground. Like, I don't know how Sonic ate that, honestly. I don't know how he just got up and had a
It was
fucking
just
car
like,
chase
oh,
after
fuck.
that.
all right.
This motherfucker got on a motorcycle, kicked a gun up into his hands, talking about "Don't follow me," and then
It really fucking-
drove up a building. Akira slid off the top of it, and then teleported away to go
Dude,
commit
there is a-
terrorism.
yeah, there's an
like
Akira sled,
He
yeah.
did the Akira
nobody
slide,
in the
bro, up
history
building.
of fiction has more fucking aura than
rode
Shadow
that
the
motorcycle
Hedgehog.
like
Okay,
Akira.
I will fight anyone on that. Shadow the Hedgehog is the most badass motherfucker anyone ever invented, and it's so funny. It's so
honestly.
funny that he's so badass. It's not even like he's faking it. It's
He's
not like
not
Hot
either.
Topic edgelord shit. He's really that fucking hard. He's just like that. He's just.
that guy.
He's just fucking like that. Sonic had to go and get the Master Emerald and pull up on this man in Supersonic. Shadow was in base. He needed Supersonic to fuck with this guy in base. And then Shadow ate that shit himself and said, "Let's fucking get it." Sonic had to kick this man into the fucking moon to get him to relax.
Literally.
Like it was fucking
They had-
Naruto the
they
last.
had-
Like he
bro.
fucking split the fucking skies.
When Sonic is in supersonic form and he's fighting Shadow and they're like on Earth just pounding the fuck out of each other all over the fucking planet, mind you.
Kicked him to Cairo.
It-
Kicked him to the Mediterranean. Kicked him to fucking Egypt
Bruh,
and Japan.
This fight is so lit.
It's the closest we're ever gonna get to a good Dragon Ball live action.
Yes.
Everybody keeps telling me watching Sonic 3 is like watching Dragon
It was like, yeah.
It was like the ultimate just Super Saiyan battle while Shadow was still at this point in base. He doesn't become Super Shadow until it's an accident way later towards the end of the fight on the moon.
It's so funny when you get to the end of this fight and Sonic's standing over Shadow like fucking Batman at the end of Batman vs Superman, and Shadow's talking about like, "Kill me, I'm right here." And you remember
Just do it.
You remember the climax of the first movie was Sonic like doing his ball move to hit a plane, like. The first movie was like, let's go on a fucking road trip and go into a bar and order some wings. And now he's in a
Third movie
fucking
was a
Super
roller
Saiyan
coaster.
fight on the moon. It's crazy. This trilogy fucks. It's so good. It has no business being as good as it is, but it is.
Honestly.
It makes the Mario movie look fucking pitiful.
Yeah.
In
Even
comparison.
look, I love Mortal Kombat. I've
It
always
really
loved
does.
the
It really does.
the lore and the story of Mortal Kombat and how deep it goes. And even like, okay, I've always loved Mortal Kombat 95. I don't care about. I don't care. Okay, Mortal Kombat 95. That movie, it fucking has always slapped to me and has always held. A
It's
special
it's
place
got a
in my
cult
heart.
following, both of them,
Yes.
especially the second one.
Especially even out.
Mother,
Annihilation.
you're dead. Too
Now-
bad you.
Now, when the most recent Mortal Kombat came and they're like doing the reboot and really kind of digging into the Scorpion Sub-Zero story and shit like that, I'm like, oh yes, dude, this is great.
That
I
was
love
good.
it.
That was decent.
It's-
The recent Mortal Kombat is actually legit.
It's actually legit. And
They're
it
bringing
has
in
me-
Johnny
Are we
Cage,
entering an
Carl
era
Urban's
of
like
good
Johnny Cage
video
in the
game
next
movies?
one.
I'm so excited.
That's really
for
good
the next
casting.
one. Like, and
What
I'm
other
like,
video games would make for good movies?
It's
Because
so
like
hard.
Resident Evil's out the door,
They're bringing
Mortal
back
Kombat we've
Yeah, they've tried
accomplished.
Resident Evil. They've tried
bringing
Mortal
back
Kombat. They finally
Mortal
got it
Kombat,
right.
they're getting it right.
Last
They're
of Us is
getting a
working
sequel,
out.
and I
They did
fucking
make it a
love
new
that.
movie, but they're doing Fallout pretty good on the Amazon.
as a series,
really,
yes.
Apparently
really good.
Borderlands
I
was a
gotta get back
disaster.
on
I want to
that.
see a Red Dead Redemption someday. They could easily pull that
Hey
off.
Disney,
easily.
hey Disney,
Don't
Hey,
touch Red
Disney.
Dead Redemption, Disney.
Hey,
Fuck
Disney.
You.
you fucking own Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, no.
You own all of the shit in Kingdom Hearts.
I want a movie of Kingdom Hearts. It don't even have to be live
Wait,
action.
Disney
You better
owns,
have Haley
Final
Joel
Fantasy
Osment play
and-
Sora.
They
and
don't own
Square
Final
Enix and shit?
Fantasy, but they own Kingdom Hearts. You can just adapt it
But they have
however
to
you
still get
need
the
to.
licensing
Use
and
the
shit.
licenses you
Enix.
do
Yeah,
own.
yeah, because Square Enix owns.
No, all of it.
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
Or no,
Here's the
it's like
thing.
Final
Here's the
Fantasy
thing,
stuff
okay?
Because the actual person.
Back up a dump truck of
Like Cloud shit would
500
probably-
million US American dollars to Tetsuya Nomura's house and tell him, hey, can we fucking make Kingdom Hearts a movie?
Hey, I mean,
And every fucking weeaboo in the country is gonna go see it.
They would make a lot
Hell,
of money.
do a Disney Plus series.
Oh, they could
Oh my
easily do a Disney
God,
Plus
that'd be
series,
gas.
bringing.
See, and I feel
You
like,
every episode can be a world.
World.
Hey, wait. Okay,
You
okay.
still make it live
Hitting on
action.
some Disney lore, like you know how they've got what like the Descendants and shit
Oh,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
where it's like
Yeah.
fucking like the kids of
Hades and Cruella
like,
de
all of
Vil
them.
and
Yeah.
all right. So like, what if all of this is like a way to eventually get down the road where we've established these characters in the kids' minds and shit that like fucking I'm like thinking of someone so specific too.
In Disney or
Yeah, in Disney. Malevolent.
Oh,
Like
Maleficent.
has like a kid and shit.
Maleficent.
Like, they established this
Yeah.
stuff. Maleficent, yeah. So it's like build this stuff and then can roll it into like some sort of Kingdom Hearts that maybe isn't going to tell the original story that like is already known. I would say that we know, but like I still haven't played, as we've already established, I still haven't played them. But like that is known and loved and kind of evolve it in some way, or maybe it's like a long track to building into like some Kingdom Hearts shit.
I
What do you think
wouldn't
about it?
mind Kingdom Hearts 1 as just a remake of that movie. Just give me that as a movie or a TV show going into the different worlds. I'll fucking love. Like, I know you don't like just straight pen and paper, but that'd be fucking gas.
Well, here's the thing. In a perfect world, we would just get like a really pretty like a Dragon Ball Daima level anime of it. In a perfect world, that's what we would get.
That'd be beautiful.
But they're not
Like we did
ever
with the
gonna
Scott
give us
Pilgrim
that.
show.
They're not.
Even Persona has like decent anime. Like,
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts the animation. I would eat that shit up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even have to be good. I'd still watch it.
Yeah,
It
I'll
doesn't
You
even
said
have
it
to
don't
be-
even
I
have
don't
to
care if it's
be
dog shit. I'll just
Nah,
watch it.
I feel like
Nah.
that. I feel
If
like
you
that
dog
would
shit,
like
I might find your house.
On that same note, here's my pitch. Netflix series, Final Fantasy. Every season is a different Final Fantasy game. That's easy money.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Easy
yeah,
money. You got 16 seasons of shit right there.
That and
Type
Samus.
shit.
Samus would be a good character to follow.
Metroid would be a good
Metroid
one.
would be
Why does
interesting.
Metroid not have a movie?
Yeah, that'd
You
be
you
fun.
could cast Sydney Sweeney in that role right now. You know how many fucking gooners would go see that movie, you know?
Then once you get to
Zero
the
suits.
zero
Zero
suits.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
Make the poster just
Yeah.
like a silhouette of her in the Zero suit.
Yeah.
And
Already
every
made
weeb in the
money right
country.
there.
I'm telling you, every gooner in the country.
What else would be good?
That's a large demographic.
Oh,
That's
God.
a.
That
Right
is
now,
so
going
funny.
through Smash. Fucking the Smash movie.
So the Smash Brothers, they're building up to
We have a
that.
Sonic movie and a Mario movie. That's
They're
all
gonna
I'm saying.
They're gonna
Oh
bring
my God.
Sonic
You
and Mario
disrespected
together.
Oh my God.
You disrespected the Mario movie.
No,
They're supposed to get
I
a Zelda
haven't
one.
seen the Mario
Movie is
movie, but look,
It's a safe family movie
It's
that
so
Sonic 3
good.
did better at.
It's so.
Hear me out. Hey.
Yeah.
look.
Oh,
Hey,
the Mario
hear me
movie.
out.
Sonic
Hear
3
me
is
out.
just super good.
Studio Ghibli Kirby movie. Kirby.
Ooh,
Oh,
Studio
oh,
Ghibli.
Ghibli doing Kirby.
Kirby the center, and that's why we got Smash.
That's my
Kirby was
pitch.
the best Smash
Studio
character.
Ghibli Kirby
Honestly,
movie.
bro.
Get the Ponyo team on a Kirby movie.
Nowadays,
Get the Ponyo.
nowadays, my dude is like fucking what is it, like Young Link?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
Link.
I love me some Young
We're supposed to get a Zelda movie.
Oh
Sometime
yeah,
soon.
Zelda with Tom Holland.
They're gonna do. Oh Jesus.
That's not
They're
gonna
my question is: are you gonna do like Ocarina? Are you gonna do Breath of the Wild? Like, what's? I'd assume Breath of the Wild just because it's
See,
relevant.
Yeah,
but,
I'm
or
not
like,
gonna
Skyward
lie.
Sword or Twilight.
Now,
Princess.
Sorry
If
for
you're-
the fandom, which one is the first one, technically?
Of what?
Legend of Zelda,
Of all
The Legend of Zelda.
That's the
The-
first one
the-
with the storyline. There's no prequels or nothing.
Well,
Yeah, the
see,
first
there's
one
like
is
a
just The
weird
Legend of Zelda.
timeline kind of deal with Zelda too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how they're kind
There's
of like
three different timelines. There's three different links. Three different Zeldas.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Now-
that. I didn't know there was three different
lured
ones.
Never lured
Well, see, and the thing
One
is, I
timeline
only
is like
know
the
this
Wind
stuff
Waker
because I tried to
timeline.
kinda-
One is like the Ocarina timeline. One is like the Breath
I
of
thought
the
it was all
Wild
the same.
timeline.
They just
they
start over.
they like branch into each other. It's like kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I only started with Legend
I
of
need a
Zelda
Switch.
with
I need to get it. Switch.
yeah. Honestly, Tears of the Kingdom was like the first thing that I'm like diving in.
Mhm.
And then like I tried Wayward Sword, but fucking I think the way I was emulating it was like the GameCube version. I wasn't fucking with it. So like at some point I should probably try to play through like the Wii U version or even like I
Hot
think
take.
they've remade it on Switch or something. I probably
The GameCube
Something.
is just a trash system.
it's
It's not your fault. The
decent for
GameCube's
some
just trash.
things, but nah, like
You hot take that before. I won't go down here. Yeah. I won't yell at you.
I think though if they were to do a movie,
That's why the GameCube didn't
that-
last that long.
they should probably start with like Tears, like Tears, fucking Breath, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even that would probably start back with probably like an Ocarina of Time deal in a way too, wouldn't it? Like going back with
Mhm.
something a little, either that or even Wayward for like. I feel like they'd establish something before they'd hit like Tears of Kingdom and Breath of the Wild kind of feel in a movie
hmm
set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not even really knowing obviously like too awful much when it comes to like Link and Zelda and like their whole story, kind of just knowing like the overall gist and shit. I would
Yeah.
think that they probably have to start somewhere before they come to like the super now
You
relevant
probably
stuff.
tell like the simplest version of the story before
And,
you
like,
get into
one
more
movie
complex
even.
shit.
and then hit more current stuff in like its sequel.
I will say, we're coming to the time when we need to wrap this particular
which is
episode up.
when-
Yeah,
as if you
unfortunately.
couldn't tell us, we've already gotten through all
Oh,
the
yes.
Sonic.
Yeah,
It's
we
all-
did. We had to go
It's all
super
good, man.
fast
We
'cause
covered a lot
some
of
us
ground
have
here.
some things
We
going
covered a
on,
lot of ground here. J-Fo has prior engagements, though.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
But
this
it's-
one we
I'll
cannot
be
go
back
on
soon.
forever.
I'll be back soon for sure.
Oh, absolutely. But
yeah.
it's been a pleasure having you either way, man. As
Yeah.
always.
Finally got this going
Long
down,
story
yeah.
short, Jim Carrey, Idris Elba, Keanu Reeves, you're all Hall of Famers.
Steal the movie.
They all
completely.
ate.
I wanted to. This was on the top of my brain this whole time. The Grinch. We should have known that Jim Carrey in a live action anything. Just give him the role. Like, just put him a part of it, and it's going to make greatness. Like the Grinch is the best live action of anything of all time.
We can get into it around Christmas time.
This
But I am not a big Jim Carrey's the Grinch guy.
That's a hot take.
You're gonna have to get it
I
back
grew
at
up
me
with
at,
it.
in
It's a fun
December.
one.
In
Nah,
Dece-
I think though, like Jim Carrey killed fucking Lemony Snicket.
Count Olaf.
Yeah, Count
That's a
Olaf.
good
He
role.
was solid.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
there's a case to be made. Eggman is the role of his career, especially with the way it's climaxed with Sonic 3, with him playing the double role and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
It's just an elite.
No, I wouldn't say the whole.
Not
I
his
think it's the
whole
best
career,
role.
probably.
I think it's his best role in a long
Not
time.
not the best of his whole career, but
mean-
like one of the defining
ending of
roles.
his
Yeah.
You know?
Fine.
He
It-
plays
it-
it.
Good way to end.
First
It's
time he's
up
played a
there
character 3 times
with-
too. I think
It's
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
there
You don't like playing the same
with
character twice.
he doesn't
What's-
ever.
God damn, dude, why is it escaping my tongue? It's on the tip of my tongue. Everyone knows what movie I'm
The
talking
Mask?
about.
Mass, Dumb
Not
and
The Mask.
Dumber,
Not Dumb and Dumber.
Liar, liar.
One of the super early ones.
Ace
Bruce
Ventura,
Not
Almighty.
Ace.
Bruce
Not
Almighty.
Bruce.
Damn, this guy got some hits. Damn, this guy.
Bro, literally.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine. What else?
Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Yeah, Truman
It's
Show.
up there with
yes.
Truman Show.
Yes.
Truman Show's his best movie.
Yeah,
Truman Show is his best.
We
movie.
figured it out.
Man on the
That's
Moon
not
is
even
great
like, yeah,
too.
that's just-
Honestly, easily.
yeah, that's
Easily his best
That's
movie.
easily.
And I'm calling
Majestic.
Sonic 3 up
Yeah.
there with
Sonic
that.
3 is his best role in a
I can't- I
long,
haven't
long,
seen
long,
it, so
long
I can't
time.
disrespect that opinion.
But with
you'll
that-
have a good time with him.
With
man.
that,
It's
if you have
fun
not
thing.
seen the Sonic movies, you should tap in. They are
Go see
worth. They
them.
are well worth your
You
time.
heard what was
Sonic
Sonic
3
3
in
is a good
particular.
one. Solid
Sonic 3 in
nine.
We've got people
particular.
that have grown up with Sonic. We've got people
Yep.
that have kind of knew and fell off.
I didn't
and have
expect to
come
love
all the
this
way
trilogy
back.
as much as I thought I would, but here we are. So thank
Exactly.
you, Sonic 3.
And
thank you,
it's Sonic 3 in
producers.
particular, I think there is a case to be made. It is the best video game movie ever made.
Who used-
I don't know. I don't
It
know what
might
its
be.
competition
It
is.
might be,
but,
honestly.
It's gotta be up there.
What's it
might be.
against?
I'm
Like,
sorry, but like it's like
Nah, Ready Player One. I'm just kidding.
get out of my house.
like-
Get out of my house.
if Dead or Alive tried
Ready
to.
Player One.
The book is great. The
if
movie.
Dead or Alive tried to make a series, it would have to be rated R. There's no way to make that famous.
I don't think you can do DOA. It would be rated X.
Make
Make a porn parody at that point. Make a
I
porn.
remember that growing up.
like you can't. It's like I honestly I think that's the only way DOA has been. Well, no, wait, there are Dead or Alive movies.
I think so.
There's Dead or
Yeah, I
there's
think Yui
3 of
Bowl.
them
I think
bitches.
Yui Bowl
I
did
forgot
one.
Seriously?
about
I
that.
think you're right.
Bro.
I think you're
I'm gonna
right.
have to show you that.
Why is there not a good
I feel like
Tekken
I just
movie?
unlocked
There's
a-
never gonna be a good Tekken
Why is there not a good Tekken
I
movie?
just unlocked a memory hardcore.
It should
I've
be.
seen, like
Super
2
easy
different
to
Dead
make.
or Alive
There's a
movies.
whole
That's
lot you can do with that
Every
Mishima
shot of
Bloodline
Tekken's
shit.
an
That's a good
angle
plot
of
line.
them up close.
Oh.
That's what Tekken.
Mobster, like a whole mob Tekken movie. Oh, fucking amazing.
Yeah, done. But anyway, before we go further off the rails, I've been your host, Nick Swisher. We are the To Be Determined podcast crew.
Yes.
This has been a good one. We're going to be recording another one pretty soon here.
Mm-hmm.
God only knows what we're talking about because that's still to be determined.
Like, subscribe, share.
Like,
Yeah, you know,
subscribe,
yeah,
share,
tell your
do all that
friends.
shit. We don't promote that shit enough. Like, yeah, if you want to subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated.
Put
That
in
like,
the comics.
Hit that
Put in
subscribe.
the comment section if Sonic is your main on Smash. I want to know.
Yeah.
he's definitely
yeah,
mine.
Yeah,
Honestly,
actually,
Well,
yeah,
until
bro.
Sora
if you
came
made
out,
it this
he was
far
mine.
and
Sora.
you are into what we've been talking about today, yes,
Little
if you
Mac.
made it to the end of the video, put down in the comment section who you main in Smash
got
Bros.
trash
And,
recovery.
yeah,
I'm just
what
throw
is
it.
your favorite scene in the Sonic movie too? Mine is probably still Super Sonic.
Fuck Sparky.
Or the Shadows. It's hard
Catch
to
these
decide.
heads and smash.
All right,
All right.
we got to teach this guy his lesson still, so we're out of here.
Next counter is OP.
We're cutting this off. We got to whoop his ass. We got.
Oh shit! Ow! No, that was great.
Bitch.
That was-